Hi, and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee, in for Phil Gallagher. We start this week with some sad news. State Senator Kenneth Donnelly passed away on Sunday, his office said in a release. At the time of his passing, Senator Donnelly was 66. The cause of death was a brain tumor he gallantly battled for 8 months. Senator Donnelly represented the 4th Middlesex District, including Arlington, Burlington, Billerica, Woburn, and multiple precincts in Lexington. Prior to serving in the Massachusetts Senate, Senator Donnelly was a firefighter for 37 years in the town of Lexington and legislative agent and the secretary-treasurer of the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts. Senator Donnelly dedicated his career in politics to helping the vulnerable members of society. He worked to increase access to mental health services for all people, provide funding for workforce training for unemployed and underemployed workers, and to further criminal justice reform. State Representative Ken Gordon, who worked closely with the senator since getting elected, said the state lost a true hero with Donnelly's passing. There will be a celebration of Donnelly's life on Saturday at the Tuscan Kitchen restaurant in Burlington. We will bring you coverage of that event next week. Law enforcement officials are attempting to crack down on the dangerous practice of texting while driving. To that end, local police teamed up with the State Highway Safety Division this week for a special action aimed at distracted drivers. BNews Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
Drivers on Mall Road may, or may not, have noticed Officer Vito Costa, in plain clothes, standing on the side of the street on Wednesday afternoon. And if they failed to notice him because they were reading or writing a text message, then they were soon after greeted by these two officers who would direct them into the parking lot of Kohl's for a chat and possible citation.
Right now we're looking for distracted drivers, people not looking at the road, both hands on the wheel. Looking to see if they're physically typing in traffic. A lot of the times you'll see people reading with one phone in their hand. That person's talking, you can tell. Other than that, people will be reading it, and that's when the distraction comes in. Should be focusing on the traffic itself and what's in front of them.
The action was part of a statewide crackdown on distracted driving spearheaded by the Highway Safety Division of the Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security.
Well, so April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and in Massachusetts we are doing enforcement around the state, and the Burlington Police are helping us out with trying to catch people who are driving distracted.
Officials say that over the past few years, the number of accidents caused by distracted drivers has risen sharply.
So the last 2 years, we have seen in the United States the biggest increase in fatal crashes in 50 years. And that is, most experts say, just a direct result of driving distracted. And we've seen that same thing happen in Massachusetts. Last year, we had 399 people die on the roads here. That's more than double the national increase. And again, it's because of people driving distracted.
Experts say that driving while texting can be as dangerous as drinking and driving. And to make things worse, there are a lot more people doing it.
If not worse, about the same, certainly. And, it's a different circumstance. When people drive impaired, the numbers of people who are doing it are relatively few. The reality of it is, if you look around at cars, trucks, or whoever's out there, a lot of people are driving distracted. So the numbers are much higher in terms of the number of people who are doing it. And that's the problem. I mean, I don't know if you saw in the news recently, but 13 people were killed in a crash in Texas by a driver who admitted to be texting while driving. 13.
Everybody knows that drinking and driving is dangerous and wrong, and while they may know that texting and driving is illegal, it doesn't have the same stigma. Officials say that needs to change and that both dangerous actions need to be seen as highly irresponsible.
You're right. Distracted driving is sort of in the same sort of societal place that drunk driving was back in the 70s and 80s, where it was, it's wrong to do, but, it wasn't as, looked at as being a pariah when you do it. We need to make sure that people understand that it is incredibly dangerous and that the action is less accepted than it is right now. And we've pulled over cars here where there are kids in the back seat, where a person in the front driving was using their cell phone. That's incredibly dangerous. It's frightening.
Finally, beyond handing out citations, the action on Wednesday was part of a simple public safety message: don't text and drive.
Yeah, so, for years we've been talking about don't text and drive, don't drive distracted. It's been a message of saying don't do this, don't do this. What we're trying to get people to do is know what the right thing to do. And the message we're trying to get out there is to drive present, to be aware of what's happening around you, and do the right thing. Put the phone down.
On Mall Road, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Thanks, Rich. The Burlington Police Department arrested a man for allegedly passing counterfeit bills at the Burlington Mall this week. Chief Michael Kent said in a release that the department arrested Gomex Gabez-Gabor, age 42, of Worcester on charges of uttering a counterfeit note, possession of a counterfeit note, larceny over $250, and larceny under $250. According to police, on Monday, April 3rd, around 2:30 p.m., the Burlington Police Department responded to the Burlington Mall for a report of two males passing counterfeit $100 bills. Upon arrival, officers located one of the men, identified as Gabez-Gabor, inside the mall. The second man fled on foot into an adjacent building in the district. Police say they responded to the building in the district and conducted a search, but were unable to locate the second suspect. However, officers recovered a counterfeit bill inside a trash can in the building, believed to have been discarded by the subject. Prior to entering the building, the suspect dropped stolen merchandise from a store in the mall that was recovered by officers. As part of the investigation, Burlington police officers recovered $1,270 in counterfeit money and $848 worth of merchandise. The U.S. Secret Service is assisting Burlington police with this investigation. Burlington police are searching for the second suspect involved in the incident. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Burlington Police Department at 781-272-1212. Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan has released a list of grand jury indictments handed down between January 31st and March 2nd. Two men accused of credit card fraud and using card skimmers in Burlington and Bedford are included. Bogdan Inua Bajur, age 29, of Queens, New York, was charged with larceny over $250, conspiracy to commit larceny, violation of an electronic funds transfer, and being a common and notorious thief. Antonio Testone, age 31, of Queens, New York, was charged with larceny over $250, conspiracy to commit larceny, violation of an electronic funds transferred, and being a common and notorious thief. The assistant district attorney for both cases is Graham Van Epps. As recorded on BNews on the morning of Thursday, October 27th, several branches of a local area bank reported incidents of fraudulent transactions. These banks were located on Mall Road and Cambridge Street in Burlington, as well as in the Bedford Shopping Center in Bedford. Bedford and Burlington police departments confirmed through the use of still photos and video images that the same suspects were responsible for the alleged thefts at all three banks. Subsequent search warrants resulted in the recovery of over 120 fraudulent cards, documents appearing to be ATM card pins, and over $15,000 cash, allegedly in the possession of the two defendants. Investigators believe other suspects are involved in the matter, and the investigation is ongoing. Massachusetts has a lot of options when it comes to health care services. However, they are not all priced the same, though most people don't consider the price tag when looking for a doctor or a medical service. The Route 3 Coalition held a conference this week on the benefits of comparing prices of health services, and BNews reporter Robert Paris was in attendance. He has this report.
Today's healthcare costs have been skyrocketing in Massachusetts and throughout the United States, which leads to people becoming discouraged with their healthcare provider. Last week, the Middlesex 3 Coalition held a healthcare forum at Tuscan Kitchen to discuss the challenges of today's healthcare costs and how to make it affordable throughout the region.
We had a request from the Middlesex Coalition for me to participate in the panel. where we can talk about the challenges that consumers face, that employers face, government faces with the rapidly escalating costs of healthcare. And Leahy Health System is absolutely committed to doing everything we possibly can to provide high quality care close to patients' home at as low a cost as possible.
Dr. Joseph White, president at Lowell General Hospital, who was one of the panelists, is trying to help consumers have a better understanding of today's cost of healthcare.
Well, we're presenting this concept that healthcare is it's an important economy for all of us, but most importantly, healthcare needs to be understood, and the play towards value needs to be understood. And we'll be talking a lot today about value in healthcare, about appropriateness of care, and about how we together can look for ways to improve the quality of care, reduce the costs of care, and improve our patients' experience.
Participants at the forum hope the audience has took something from each of the panel's discussion.
It's a complicated subject. I think the most important thing is people should make the effort to become better educated as to the cost of healthcare and options that they have for where they receive their care. Because historically, people had their insurance card and they went wherever they felt like going without understanding the cost implications. Nowadays, people have more out-of-pocket expenses. They've got a larger share that they pay themselves. And there is publicly available information that would enable them to make wiser choices about where they get their care.
I think that people today, if I had one wish, that they'd understand three things. One, they'd understand that there is value in healthcare and that there's ways to get at that. Number two, there's ways to work with our payers to reward folks that are valuing healthcare and moving care to places that are higher value. And number three, that the idea of wellness is very important. Helping consumers to consume less healthcare is a great way to make sure our health economy stays strong.
Middlesex 3 Coalition members said they thought the speakers were great and had an important message.
I think the discussions were phenomenal. To be able to get the leaders in healthcare and also the Attorney General's office here to talk about things that normal businesses won't hear. We might be able to see some of this information on news or go through 100-page reports to try to dissect and analyze what it is. The experts were here. They're accessible, and this is one of the powers of the Middlesex 3 Coalition in partnering with the Chamber.
From Tuscan Kitchen, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Robert. Keurig's top 100 suppliers gathered in the company's Burlington headquarters this week for a number of business meetings and networking events. They also spent some time working for local charities. BNews reporter Corey McNeil was there and has this report.
The name Keurig has become eponymous with single-serve coffee. This coffee-making corporation is also known to care about their community. And this week at the Keurig Green Mountain offices in Burlington, they had something very special brewing.
Today and for the past couple of days this week, we are hosting our Top 100 Suppliers event in partnership with as our third annual event of the year. We're partnering with our volunteerism program for our second annual cafe program. So this week we are partnering to make blankets for the Boston Children's Hospital as an example. We're also putting well wishes cards into backpacks which are going to the Cradles to Crayons organization.
Senior Vice President of Procurement, Logistics, and Real Estate, Paul Ayadarosa, told us how the event came about.
And one of our employees had an idea and said, hey, instead of playing golf, why don't we engage them in one of our cafe event programs? And it sort of resonated, and we tried it last year for the first time, and it took off. The vendors loved it, the employees loved it, and we made an impact on the community, and it's now stuck, and it's part of our program.
Keurig Green Mountain gives their employees 52 hours a year to volunteer for causes that help the community, and those hours definitely do add up.
In FY16, we had 56,000 hours across our U.S. and our Canadian operations. Yes, it's a tremendous effort by all of our employees, and they're extremely passionate about giving back into our community. It's a wonderful benefit we offer here.
I love it, and I think it's because we're holistic people. Our life is not just about our work or about our families, and so it's sort of it's a connection between the two. It allows you to participate in something that's very personal to you and have the time to do it. So I've always enjoyed it.
Well, what I like about it is, it's a solid day yesterday of formal presentations and meetings, and then there's one-on-one business meetings today. This is a chance to put the business stuff aside and work together in a more social environment, working together, having fun, and helping the community. So you sort of put the business difficulties or challenges to the side, and you work together, and you have fun, and you help the community at the same time.
Thank you very much to all the volunteers at Keurig Green Mountain, and thanks again for all the coffee as well. For BNEWS Weekly, this has been Corey McNeil. Back to you in the studio.
And thank you, Keurig. Do you have any old used bikes taking up room at your house? If so, you could come down to Burlington High School to donate your bikes for a good cause. The Burlington High School Student Club, Students for Environmental Action, will be hosting a bike donation drive for Bikes Not Bombs to help people in need. Bikes Not Bombs is a Boston-based organization that uses the bicycle as a vehicle for social change, the website explains. Each year, they collect roughly 6,000 used bicycles and lots of used parts from supporters around Greater Boston and New England, and ship most of them overseas to economic development projects. The bikes and parts go as far as Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. The bikes are distributed to people to help them have sustainable transportation for work and life responsibilities. Bikes that don't get shipped often land in their youth programs where teens learn bicycle safety and mechanics skills in the process of earning bikes to keep for themselves. The bike drive will be held on Saturday, April 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the student parking lot at Burlington High School. All children and adult-sized bikes will be accepted, as well as accessories such as helmets and pumps. Tricycles and scooters will not be accepted. The Students for Environmental Action is also asking for a $10 donation to go with the bike. The Billerica Rotary Club was full of enthusiastic boxing fans last Friday for the Burlington Rotary's biggest fundraiser of the year. Friday night at the Fights, BNews director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
It was a night of jabs, body shots, and haymakers at the Rotary Club in Billerica during the Burlington Rotary's annual Friday Night at the Fights fundraiser. A large group of enthusiasts were treated to a full night of boxing action, with fighters ranging from a bit on the small side to full-on Goliaths. The proceeds from the fights go to the many charities that the Burlington Rotary has supported over its long history in town.
The Rotary Club has been in existence for probably close to 60 years. And we've given away over $500,000 in scholarships in that time to high school students that are in need of help and financial help. And we've done on the Common, our 50th anniversary present to the town. We put up a fountain with benches around it, so there's a place for people to sit and enjoy the Common. And we're happy to help wherever we can in the town, helping many charities, and anybody that's in financial need, we're always looking to help out.
Many of the charities the Rotary supports are familiar names to most people in Burlington, though they are always open to finding new and worthy causes to support.
Well, Burlington Rotary gives out to a lot of different charities, and we help people helping people. We help with the Interact Club, which is a high school Rotary club, in which we have a number of advisors there. We partner with them to help for the senior dance, the senior prom, and we have many other charities in the town that come to us and are looking for financial help. And on a monthly basis, the Board of Directors decides how we disperse the money.
Though Burlington Rotary holds multiple fundraisers throughout the year, Fight Night takes the top spot in terms of generating revenue for the club.
We hold several major fundraisers, this being our largest one. For years now, we worked with Arthur Romalo's gym to do between 12 and 15 rounds of boxing. We have a full-up dinner, as you can see, people finishing up here. And the proceeds for this event go to all of our charitable causes here in town, which range from the kids in the elementary schools all the way up to seniors in town.
Despite some wintry weather on this early spring evening, the place was full of people enjoying the fights.
Well, as you know, we had a little bit of snow and sleet this evening, but as you can see, we have a full house. I think people really wanted to brave the elements here early spring and enjoy some boxing.
Finally, if you missed Friday night at the fights this year, you can still catch the action in 2018. And Brad said it's an evening full of fun, food, and a lot of fighting.
Well, as you can hear the energy behind me here, we actually have a full 7-course meal for everyone, and we've got a cash bar on hand, multiple raffle prizes. In fact, we just raffled off a pair of really good Red Sox tickets, as well as a weekend rental on our Mercedes-Benz, and we've got some even bigger scale awards coming up later in the evening. So, and again, like I say, Romalo's Gym always gets a really good slate of boxers, and it's a good entertainment.
At the Bill Ricca Rotary Club, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Thank you, Rich. Clear out the hazardous materials that have built up in your garages, attic, basement, closets, and under the sink in a safe and environmentally friendly way. The Burlington Board of Health will conduct a Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day on Saturday, April 29th from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Francis Wyman Elementary School, 41 Terrace Hall Avenue. This collection event is for Burlington residents only and provides an opportunity for proper disposal of household quantities of hazardous materials. Proof of residency will be required. Oils, gasoline, pesticides, pool chemicals, propane tanks, car batteries, and mercury-containing materials will be accepted for proper recycling or disposal. All materials should be transported in sturdy containers. Medical sharps and expired or unwanted medications will not be accepted. However, a sharps kiosk is available at the fire department and a medication kiosk is available at the police department. Brochures will not be mailed to residents. For event details and a list of accepted materials, visit the Board of Health website or call 781-270-1955. It appears that spring weather has finally started to arrive. For all the details, we go now to BNews meteorologist Peter Brown in our Weather Center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Ian Casciola to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. And of course, here we are getting through the first week in April. And what have we been seeing? Nothing but really cloudy and cool conditions, something that we've been seeing really since about the end of February. And as you can see here, starting out our period on Friday, we're going to see temperatures again below average. So that's definitely nothing that's too much of a big surprise like it's been the past month or so. Temperatures are only going to be in the low 50s. It's going to be kind of a very cold and clammy start to our period coming up. But look at the record highs, though. Record highs in the mid-80s. Now, I want to mention that by the time we get to the middle of the period, so starting next week around the Monday to Tuesday time frame, we might not be too far from that actual temperature. So that's something to definitely look forward to. And of course, as you can notice right here, look at how much longer the days are. We definitely have ample sunshine and lots of daylight to go out and enjoy our activities as we head through spring. As we move ahead, I'm going to show a little bit to you about what's going to be going on with our weather for the next 7 days. And pretty much what you see is what you get over the past couple of days here. Starting out our weekend, we're going to see some kind of cloudy and damp conditions for southern New England here for us here in the Burlington area. And throughout the week, we're going to see a series of weak systems that are going to pass by to our west. Now, as these systems move by to our west, that's actually going to set the stage for what looks like now in the models a very warm start to next week. So that's going to be something to look forward to, but we're going to have to keep an eye as we get to the end of the week where we might see the chance of some showery and cooler conditions moving back into here. But you don't have to worry about any wintry conditions. Looks like there's no snow or sleet or freezing rain on the horizon. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about our temperatures and precipitation and what the National Weather Service is looking out for the next 2 weeks or so. As you can look right here, look at this up in our area, up here in the Burlington area and most of southern New England down to the mid-Atlantic. They're expecting temperatures to be well above average, and that is certainly going to be reflected as we go into the middle of next week. And as we go ahead into the next slide that we're going to show you, it's going to be detailing about a little bit of what we're going to be seeing for precip. As you can see right here, looks like in our area, just about to our north, looks like we're expecting a chance of above average precipitation, and that definitely has been the case the past few days. So looks like our slightly damp April is going to continue, that's for sure. But let me show you the 7-day forecast, and I have to tell you a little bit about the excitement that we have coming up for the middle of next week. Now, as you can see right here, when we actually put our forecast together, it was looking like it was going to stay kind of cool towards the beginning of next week. However, looking ahead now, the models say we may actually see temperatures as high as the mid-70s to maybe approaching 80 by the time we get to Tuesday. So folks, the 60, you can really, that would be absolutely beautiful too, but we're going to probably have to up those temps by about 15 degrees. But before we get to that nice weather, as you can see here, starting out our weekend, going to be kind of cool and damp to start out, especially on Friday and Saturday. But then again, those beautiful skies start up on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, we introduce the chance of maybe a little bit of spotty rain shower activity as temperatures start to cool down a little bit from what they were. But again, looking at the latest model projections, we may actually have to tack another 10 degrees onto these forecast highs that we have for the end of next week. So, folks, we've been through a pretty cool and damp period since February, but it looks like we are actually going to be getting some beautiful weather coming up. So stay tuned out there, folks. Get out there and enjoy the weather coming up, and have a great week.
Hello, and welcome to your community calendar. First, find out how to sell your home with low-cost payments. On Tuesday, April 11th, from 7 to 9 p.m., the Burlington Recreation Department is having a presentation called Homeowners, Thinking of Selling? The presentation will be instructed by Joanne Delaney and Pat Linsky of Showcase of Homes in Burlington. You'll get to find out what buyers are looking for in homeowners who are thinking of selling their house. You'll also learn low-cost ways to make improvements to help sell your home, staging and landscaping ideas, and what to expect at home inspection and costs associated with selling your home. The event is free, and the event will take place in room 136 at the Council on Aging. Pre-registration is required. For more info and to register, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1695. Do you read any books by J.K. Rowling? On Friday, April 14th from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a movie day for kids. The movie they will be showing is J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, starring Eddie Redmayne. There will also be homemade popcorn, and you can also bring your own snacks and drinks, but please no nuts. The movie is rated PG-13. Everyone is welcomed, and the event is free. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Easter is right around the corner, and 3rd Ave is getting into the fun. On Saturday, April 15th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 3rd Ave in Burlington is having an Easter fun at 3rd Ave. There will be free photos with the Easter Bunny on the green, and children will get to collect candy from each store at 3rd Ave. Please remember to bring a bag to collect the candy in. There will also be face painting and much more. Everyone is welcomed, and the event is free. For more info, visit 3rdAveBurlington.com or call 781-270-4000. This has been your community calendar. I'm Ian Casciola. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. Finally, another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo shows a fun event at one of Burlington's religious institutions. It was sent in by Susan Abramson and shows young women having fun at a recent open house at the Burlington Islamic Center. Thanks for the photo, Susan. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside, your own door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to BCAT at bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Well, that's it for this week's edition of BNews Weekly. Have a wonderful and safe week. Good night.